The T20 World Cup is at its final stage. It is the final, and it's India that will take on South Africa to get the prestigious title of winning the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024. Welcome back to AL Group's AL Sport. We will be discussing and analyzing this year's T20 World Cup final, which is between India and South Africa. We're also very lucky to have Jatin Vaichal again all the way from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Adi. Pleasure to be here.
Before we get into anything, let's have some quick sports recap. The New Zealand Tour of Pakistan T20 series finishing 2-all. IPL 2024 Kolkata Knight Riders taking the championship and Sunrisers Hyderabad the ones falling short. Premier League Man City taking the prestigious title, and the UEFA Europa round of 16 is starting soon. And of course, the ICC Men's T20 World Cup semi-finals are over and the final is here. So we'll be analysing with our cricket expert, Jatin Vaichal. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. So it's India versus South Africa. So if you don't know the timings, it's as per Indian Standard Time, it's on Saturday the 30th of June at 8 p.m. If you're watching in New Zealand, it's at 2:30 a.m. and it varies across Australia. But what do you make of this year's final?
Yeah, I guess the best two teams so far in the tournament have made it to the finals. Both India and South Africa have been unbeaten so far, haven't lost a single game, have done exceptionally well with the different and tricky conditions while playing in USA and later on in Indies. So it's good to see that the two best teams who have been part of the T20 World Cup are playing the final. Very exciting times. South Africa playing the first ever final in the history of their cricketing career. So it's good to see that South Africa has pretty much cleared the tag which was associated with South Africa of being called chokers when they used to fall short on semifinals or knockout stages, to be specific. India is going to be playing their third final for the T20 World Cup. In 2007, when they first played it, they won the title. They again played were the finalist or the semi-finalist in the last T20 World Cup, which was again India and England, which have happened again in this year's T20 World Cup as well. But really exciting times. I'm pretty sure final is going to be exciting as well.
Yeah, South Africa, like you said, have been unbeaten, but so has India. If we'll look at this further in the video, but South Africa almost fell short to and came very close to losing games, but they have remained unbeaten. They have gotten to the end. They have reached the final stage of this year's World Cup. Same thing with India. They've came very close to losing in a couple of games, but they've held it back when required. They've taken those wins in the end, and they are also unbeaten. So it makes sense for two of them unbeaten sides to play each other. One of them will no longer remain unbeaten at the end of this tournament, and one of them will finish this tournament unbeaten. And we can only wait until Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are in the world, to find that out. So India's road to final, Jatin, it started off with
Yeah,
Ireland.
yeah. So as we talked in our previous videos as well, India had a good start. They had a couple of tight games where they showed the class. There's no other word to put it over there, that they showed why India is rated as one of the highest or consistent teams over the period of time. They analyze their game very well. They know their strength and weaknesses. Rohit Sharma has to be praised for being a very bold and aggressive captain at times. So he is well aware of which bowler to use when. That's what he has shown in the group stages, Super 8, and also in the semifinals. So they started with Ireland winning a bit comfortable game, first game of the tournament with 8 wickets. They came close with Pakistan. That was a very exciting game. And we are well aware India Pakistan always has got a lot of tension around it. It's not only the on the pitch but outside the pitch as well.
Mm.
So Pakistan losing that game to India by just 6 runs. It was not too high scoring game, but it was a well played game by both the teams. USA was again one of those matches which was a bit critical. It was we or India was in a bothering state when they lost three early wickets. Good that how Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya jumped in and secured the win. Um, uh, Kudos to USA for playing the way they have played. It's not a easy game when you're playing against a team like India, which has got a very big fan following. And as we always say, 11 players are playing on the pitch, but India always has got the 12th player as the support staff or the supporting crowd, which follows India everywhere, wherever they play in the world. And very similar thing we saw in US as well. Unfortunately, Canada's game was abandoned, leaving India securing into the Super 8 without any losses, which was good to see. I guess Super 8 journey was fulfilling as well. We have, or India has done pretty well throughout those three games: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Australia. Australia was one of the biggest games for Super 8 because, as you see, India has played against Pakistan and then Australia. And all the other teams are not rated as higher in the ranking in the ICC table as well. So India was not truly challenged. Australia game was something where they were thoroughly challenged, but India overcome it with ease. Very similar thing happened in the semi-final yesterday as well, when England was playing. India uh, put a good score. 170 was way over the par score for that pitch. And as usual, Indian bowlers came in and chipped in with wickets, and eventually India making it to the final. So overall, very good journey from the prospect of the game. Uh, Good to see that Indian team adapting to situations wherever required. This is something which we have lacked to see in the previous instances of the World Cup. That's why it's not wrong to say that India is one of the biggest contenders, and that's why they are playing the final too.
Hmm. People will say India are a top team, and they'll definitely say that because of the bigger margins. So we start off with the group stage. We see a win by 8 wickets. We see a win by a smaller margin, 6 runs. Then we see 7 wickets and abandon. But against USA, I'm gonna focus on that game because everyone, I think, underestimates how close it was. Everyone really
Yeah,
does. USA played a really good performance with both bat and ball. Unfortunately, not many wickets, just the 3 wickets. But in the end, India only had 2 overs to chase that target
yeah,
left. So 2 overs can make a huge difference. It is a turnaround sort of thing. And USA is a top team. They are now entering, they've already automatically qualified for the next World Cup, which will be in India and Sri Lanka in 2026. But apart from that, they have performed well. They beat Pakistan, and of course by a super over, but it's still a win. You can count that as, and they made it to the
yeah.
Super 8. So yeah, you're right. We should praise USA. They have performed extremely well. Then when we move to the Super 8 stage, India has batted first every single time. They win by 47 runs against Afghanistan, 50 runs against Bangladesh, and then 24 against Australia. Of course, the margin getting smaller when it comes to Australia, as it is a top team. Of Australia, unfortunately, not making the semi-finals, losing to Afghanistan. And then in the semi-final, just this morning, they took on England and they won by 68 runs. Do you think India is having a better performance when they're batting first?
Um, Yes and no, actually. In this tournament, it's looked like India has done better batting first. There are a few reasons to it straight away, which has been mentioned by Rohit Sharma as well in his press conferences, that the pitches are very unpredictable. So it's always a best option to put a score on, and then you can capitalize on it based on how the situation goes in. And that's what we have seen as well. And I will just go back to the US game where we were chasing it. We like now, if we see it, the results does say 7 wickets, but you're absolutely right that we lost quick wickets, and there was a one drop catch as well of the fourth wicket, which would, if it would have been taken, it would have changed the game completely. And the batsmen, how they came into picture, and how they adapted and got into the situation. Situation awareness and scored those runs was crucial in each and every game. We saw the same thing in yesterday's game as well against England in the semifinals. We lost Virat Kohli very early, but the way and then again Rishabh Pant, we lost it after a while. But the way Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit Sharma came together and built up that partnership that gave that base to the lower order batsmen or the middle order who came in later on to start hitting. Hardik Pandya got a couple of sixes very quickly, which boosted the total, and eventually we got to that 170. On that pitch, 150 was a very power score. But if in final we have to chase it, uh, India has been a very good team in the past. Virat Kohli, especially, has been the best batsman we have seen so far in any of the ODIs or the T20s. When the team is chasing, he's most of the runs have come against the teams when he's chasing a target because he knows what needs to be done. He takes those actions. Even though in this T20 World Cup we haven't seen that happen quite often, overall, you can't put a finger over there saying that India would be lagging in chasing. But unfortunately, they haven't done that on these pitches. And we are playing in Barbados, where the pitch is again going to be a crucial aspect, and would be good to see what the winning captain tries to do over there.
Yeah, I mean, India has played exceptionally well. We also saw in Rohit's captain's talk, as soon as the game finished, he was talking about how they didn't have a set target in their mind. That he didn't go out and tell their batsmen that you need to do this, you need to achieve this many runs. They didn't have a target in front of them. They didn't have a mindset or anything about what they want to achieve in that innings. That I reckon that has made an impact towards their game. If you Because they're just going out there, they're playing their hardest, they're doing their best, and that's when you can put a par score up on the board and make sure that you have a good chance that your bowlers can back you up in the second innings.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what they did against England.
true.
South Africa's story was different, though. South Africa didn't always have the best bowling or have the best batting if they to get these wins. They started off with Sri Lanka by 6 wickets. They then won against Netherlands by 4 wickets, and then it started a bit of a tumble. They only beat Bangladesh by 4 runs, and then only by 1 run they defeated Nepal. What do you make of that?
Yeah, so when we talk about two finalists, and we are saying that both the teams have been unbeaten, but it's very important to see the journey as well. Very different way the teams have reached to their finals. We talked about India, which has been very professional looking performance, winning on the capability of that particular situation, as compared to South Africa, who have struggled a lot. It was a bit challenging to see that how they were playing against Nepal and even at Netherlands. These teams, we expect South Africa to perform well, but unfortunately, they were not able to. I think they are lagging with getting that gelling up together and taking actions when it is required. They are slipping a few crucial points in the game, which is affecting them. And we saw the same thing in Super 8 as well for them. But group stages was a bit of a not a par performance from South Africa, which we are used to. South Africa has been one of the better teams to play T20 cricket from the time it has started. So seeing them struggle with teams like Netherlands and Nepal was a bit disappointing to see. But that's in the past. The way they have moved on and improved onto it, it's really good to see that they have made it to the first of their finals in their cricketing career.
Yeah, they definitely did bounce back. You're right. They've bounced back into the Super 8, winning against USA by 18 runs, a closer game against England by 7 runs, and even closer with West Indies by the Duckworth-Lewis system, only by 3 wickets, and was definitely it's closer than you think. Against for all the especially for those England and West Indies games, comfortable with USA. But in the end, they, I think, dominated Super 8. They did bounce back and they did come out top of their group in the Super 8 stage. Then we look at the semi-final. That's, I think, when South Africa went all out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the semi-final was still, I would not reckon or would not consider South Africa's performance as the power performance which we are used to. So we saw in the game, the bowler Jason got the first two wickets, but if you see the line and length he was bowling, he was very unpredictable. A lot of wides in the small total of 56, which is not good to see from a bowling side, and that actually helped them get wickets as well, which is I won't say a positive way of getting wickets. A good bowler would continue with his line and length and make the ball do something to take wickets, but over here it wasn't that to be seen. So South Africa's performance in the semi-final has not been up to that mark. Just chasing a target of 56, they didn't look like struggling, but they lost one wicket, just a one wicket in that chase of 56. But it's good to see that the way the captain Markram is performed in that particular game. So it's going to be a challenging final for him as well when he comes to for the toss, starting with the toss. Luckily for South Africa, if you remember in the toss, Markram did mention that they wanted to bat as well. If they would have, I'm not sure what the situation would be, but we can imagine based on the way pitch was behaving, South Africa might have struggled as well, batting first on there. So it's good that it happened that way, but they should be looking forward to the final next.
We have been talking about the toss. So we have been talking about a toss, especially in these games, between for South Africa and for India, and even throughout the whole T20 World Cup, the toss has been so crucial. Teams haven't won the toss, but they've still came out on the better side. And it is debatable, honestly, on what to do. But what do you think is going to be, what do you think the winning captain will do if they do win the toss, tomorrow?
Yeah. So one of the advantages of all this is that India has played most of their games in the as a day games, and the final is again is on a it would be happening as a day game. It won't be a night game, which South Africa has played significantly. And in Windies, we have seen that when the game is at a night game, the pitch has behaved in a different way for the second innings. A little bit of dew has come into consideration, but in the day game, the pitch, like for the semi-final of India England, pitch was stucking a bit. A ball was holding up. It was not coming onto the bat. It was a bit of a struggle to bat on because the batsman needed to get adjusted to the pace of the pitch. Um, so it all depends upon how we are going to get the pitch, how balanced it's going to be. But considering it's a final, and you always want to take the pressure off by putting a target on the for the opposition. So any captain who would be winning the toss would be trying to bat first and put the score on board to get some pressure on the opposition.
You spoke about how India has played all day games. That's right. They have played all or every single game in group stage, Super 8, and even the semi-final against England. They've won all of them. I mean, so has South Africa, but still,
Mhm.
India has played all day games. Do you think that's going to be an advantage coming into this final, which is also a day game, compared to South Africa's a mixture of both?
I don't think it will affect that much because the teams we are about whom we are talking here is South Africa and India, who are very professional looking teams. So it won't be too much of a factor to consider the day or night, but it's about reading that situation. So Rohit Sharma has been in that situation. He has read that correctly so far. Markram, on the other hand, has not been in that situation that much. So he might take some time to read that situation. So that's where the captaincy would make a big difference. Both the captains are very bold captains. We have seen them taking risk wherever required. So considering that, the only advantage I see over here is Rohit already being in practice of in that situation as compared to Markram. But Markram is a very quick learner and he adapts and reads the situation very well as well. So it won't be too much of a difference, but still 51 for 49 to Rohit Sharma and Markram on that one.
Hmm. I think it is like something that comes down to the day. And weather will also have an impact. We've seen over the last month or so, there've been so many washouts, and it's not even about the washouts, it's about the rain affected games. We saw even this morning, India versus England, there was about an hour and a half delay because of the rain, and then it came back.
Hmm.
The toss will definitely have a huge factor, I'd say, for these teams, because if rain is has a say in this final, it could also affect the result. What do you think?
Yeah, but one advantage for final is that we have got a reserve day for that final, which was not there for even for the semi-final. They had the 250 hours reserved in case the rain comes in. So you won't start losing the overs until 250 hours are completed. Um, so that's an advantage of final, that we have got a reserve day in case the rain comes in. But as far as so far, right now, it's still more than 24 hours to go for the final. The weather is looking good to be during the day to get that game in, and that would actually balance it out if the rain or the cloud doesn't show up, and we have a sunny day. The pitch might be consistent throughout the game.
Hmm. Yeah, so hopefully the weather is on point for a great final between India and South Africa. And India have the players, don't they? They have many players in their squad that are capable of performing. We saw this morning Surya and Rohit, you spoke about them. They put in a really good scores each. Rohit getting his 50 and Surya just falling short to a catch straight down the ground. But
Mhm.
they have the players, of course. You said Virat Kohli will have a hand if they do end up chasing because he knows what he needs to do. Shivam Dubé, unfortunately, unable to perform today, getting out for a duck.
Mhm.
Hardik Pandya having a huge say, having a bit of a part in India's total overpass score. And then even
Yeah.
the likes of Ashdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, their pace bowling coming in handy for this morning. And then we saw Ravindra Jadeja picking up a couple of wickets, and Akshar Patel, his player of the match performance, as well as Kuldeep Yadav. He picked up a couple of wickets, but in the end, this morning was about Akshar Patel. But who do you think are going to be the important players for their game against
Yeah.
South Africa?
So just to go back a little bit on that. So last time when India played South Africa, it was in South Africa, and in that game, Surya Kumar Yadav got a century. Kuldeep Yadav has got 5 wickets in the same game. So considering that and how Surya Kumar has been playing so far, he is a very vital clog in the good functioning of the Indian team, because he gives that quick, far runs, and the way Surya Kumar Yadav plays is a very unorthodox way of playing. His shots, bowlers don't have answers to it, so it makes it hard for them. And once you take that momentum away from the bowling team, then Hardik Pandya comes in and starts getting those big hits, which he's known for. Unfortunately, Shivam Dubé is one of the weaker points in this formation right now, because he has not clicked yet, but saying so, he might jump back. Same goes for Virat Kohli as well. He has not gotten to runs yet. And as we mentioned in our previous videos as well, that it is overdue. And the moment Virat Kohli kicks in, it's going to be the extra advantage India would have, because India has won so far or scored big runs without Virat Kohli. That's a very big advantage for us right now. And Arshdeep Singh has been an exceptional bowler to get the new ball or share the new ball with Bumrah, which has put the opposition straight away under pressure by taking quick wickets. In the semi-final as well, we saw England lost 3 wickets in the power play. This actually breaks the batting lineup straight away when you're losing wickets in the power play. So that's good to see that the individuals are picking up. It's really hard to say that one person would make a difference, but it's more of a team, how they are adjusting between those situations and coming back up. Like today, if you see it, Akshar Patel got a wicket of Butler on the first delivery he bowled. So that's the advantage of that. The key players who we were saying would perform haven't performed yet, but others have contributed. So the moment the big players start performing, it makes a complete package to uh, get over that final hurdle and get the trophy in.
Yep, you're right. Many players of this Indian squad have performed and are also overdue to perform. And I'm sure many fans, especially of those of Virat Kohli, will be very happy if he does perform. They'll be excited. They'll be wanting a performance, a very well overdue performance from Virat Kohli. And of course, Shivam Dube just not in form at the moment. That's what you can say, really. Hopefully, if he can pick up his form over the couple months to come, but it's unlikely that we will see anything from him in the final match of this formation, at least the one that we have right now, that played against England this morning. Still haven't seen Sanju Samsung, and unlikely that he will play in the final. Mohammad Siraj, same thing. But yeah, you're right. The players that are playing have performed, and we hope to see those that haven't yet done.
Yeah.
So if you do want to watch the T20 World Cup, it will be streamed live in New Zealand on Sky Sport and Sky Sport Now. And if you're with Justin in Australia, you can watch it on Amazon Prime Video. All games of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 will be streamed live in Australia on Prime Video. And if you're in India, free coverage is on Hotstar and it's on Star Sports. More videos, match highlights for some matches in the NZ Summer of Cricket, New Zealand Tour of Pakistan, IPL series. All videos are now available to watch. T20 World Cup is this video and many other video, and our previous two videos of the semi-finals and our main T20 World Cup is also available for you to watch. And the Paris 2024 Olympics kicks off next month. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's AL Group, youtube.com/@al_group, and visit our Instagram page, instagram.com/algroup.yt, for your daily updates on this T20 World Cup final and many more sports events to come. Thank you so much to Jatin for his time. He's joined us on Zoom all the way from Sydney, Australia, providing his input, and he is a cricket expert. And we will hope to have some post-match analysis with him to go through the individual performances and more details from the final. So thank you so much for your time, Jatin, and we hope to see you soon.
No worries. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here and hope we see a very good final.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.